Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here. So I've got a music review for you guys today, and of course if you're new to my channel, welcome, it's a pleasure to have you. Just know that when it comes to music, I like to do these kinds of reviews in pairs. I like to talk about two albums from two specific bands that sort of share a connection in terms of their music style, music events, etc, etc. And today I think we're just going to go on the concept of rainbows and similar sounds. We're going to be going over a EP that I didn't even know about, as well as a full-length album that I should have reviewed a long time ago this year, but still didn't have something to pair it up with, but now that I do. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to discuss the EP, and it is Coldplay's Kaleidoscope. Now, Coldplay has done this before. After Viva La Vida came out, they did something called the Prospects March, which was an EP with a couple of remixes and a few new songs. So this time around, after A Head Full of Dreams, you can obviously tell this is something to pair it up with if you recognize the cover, and it's just 5 additional songs, one live of their song that's not even on one of their albums. As a matter of fact, it is something just like this, a live from Tokyo performance, and you can hear that song on the recent release from the Chainsmokers. This is definitely not one of their strongest projects, although as a Coldplay fan, I know that they have good albums and they have great albums, but this is definitely, if anything, a good addition to your Coldplay collection. You can listen to this alongside your Head Full of Dreams CD, and especially if you did not have any intentions of getting the Chainsmokers album, you will at least have something just like this, just to have it in your Coldplay collection. I would probably say that the strongest song on this album is Miracle's Something Special. With a close second, I would probably give it to Hypnotized. It's a good listen, it's nothing special, but, you know, it's only 5 songs. But it is Coldplay. I'll be always going into this with an open mind when it comes to getting something new from Coldplay. But now let's take a look at an album that I really didn't know what my expectations for it were going to be, because even though I am a fan of them, compared to some of the other bands that I have discovered in the last 15 years, they're definitely on the bottom rung of the ladder, and that is the third album, Evolve, from Imagine Dragons. Now, I got their first 2 albums. They're good, but to me they're not great. I prefer their first album over Smoke and Mirrors. While Smoke and Mirrors does have some highlights, it's not as good in terms of flow than their first album. But Evolve is definitely something different. They definitely live up to the title, which is Evolve. They've stepped their game up, and their sound has changed to a certain degree for the better. I mean, when I first heard Believer, I thought that it was an interesting sound, definitely something that you didn't hear on the radio every single day, and then when I heard Thunder, it didn't even sound like Believer, so I was saying to myself, what is going on with Imagine Dragons? Are they finally trying to do something to wake everybody up and let their presence be known? With Evolve, even though there are a lot of people out there that kind of trash this album, they're just people that didn't really care much for Imagine Dragons to begin with. But especially when I like a band but don't love a band, I like to keep an open mind and I'd like to see what they can crank out. Evolve is definitely their strongest album. I would probably say that my favorite song on this album is I'll Make It Up to You, because it sounds like a classic song from the 1980s. There's a lot of 80s feel to this album with songs like I Don't Know Why and Rise Up. And then you have interesting songs that don't even sound like that, like Yesterday. It's a very interesting and innovative listen. That's the best way that I'm going to be able to describe this album for you. I will say that it's still keeping me on their train. It's making me even more excited to see what they're going to come out with next. I don't know when that will be, but when their 4th album comes out, I hope that it is just as strong as Evolve, if not better. So there we go, guys. That's 2 new albums for your ear holes. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Just be prepared, because there's going to be a lot more music coming at the end of this year. Some bands that I did not know were coming out with albums are coming out with albums, and I'm really excited to bring them to you and review them for you. But please put your comments in the box below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this EP from Coldplay if you've heard it, and of course, Evolve from Imagine Dragons. And I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.